All right, we are good to go.
Okay, real good. Well, it's exciting for me to be here with you all. As you know, last Thursday was a special day, Thanksgiving Day, and so we all took that time for the holiday. And as I said, we're right in the middle, I should say, of the holiday season. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight about really our market from a business standpoint, what that market looks like right now, and just the whole idea of mindset and the way you think and how you think about your business and the results from your business. For those of you who might be joining us for the first time, as I just shared a minute or two ago, is I've been with the Juice Plus Company for 32 years. Still shocked that this was something that, I would grow up, as I said, and this would be my career. I taught for many years. My background was actually in learning development, child development, learning disabilities. At that time, there was really no words for, we didn't hear a word like the spectrum, or if you knew a child, there may have been one that had autism in the town in which I lived and that we knew of. So this is a huge thing today. And yet, by certainly not because of my background and my career did I join or become a Juice Plus distributor. I just found myself in a financial situation that was terrifying. The economy had really just disappeared as far as economic security in Louisiana. Our whole base of income there was the petroleum, oil, and gas business, and that moved to the Middle East. And when it did, everybody's jobs went with it, and economic depression followed. People lost their jobs, they lost their homes, many marriages came apart, and mine was one of them. And all of a sudden, it was me by myself with two small children, not babies, they were middle school, but it was a difficult time, and my parents were gone by that time. And yet it's really interesting because this need financially propelled me into has not only brought great prosperity, but tremendous joy. I can honestly say I didn't feel like I was awake in my life until I happened to, come across the Juice Plus company and kind of grew up with it. And so not only expanded my perception of health and that you could really be, you might say, master of your fate as far as health and security were concerned, because those things were offered through our company. And yet at the same time, really grow and expand and have relationships all over the world. And so it's really been a joyous journey, an adventurous one, a prosperous one, a very, very happy one. And I don't think we could find ourselves in a better place at a better time, in a better position with what we have to offer people. And tonight I wanted just to talk about two things, and I think we've got about 20 minutes or so. And those two things are to really be aware of the power of what you're a part of in the market that is waiting for you to show up, because it really is in more ways than one. Certainly, we're all aware of the need for I guess you would say, recognition of not only the health issues that are really a problem today in so many different directions, but the fact that our product really does empower people to take control of their health. And we're aware of that. We've certainly had years and years and years of, just, I guess you would say, constant confirmation that Juice Plus does this. Juice Plus is 27 years old now, and fruits and vegetables and berries and omegas are not going to go out of style. So we have a very core foundational human need that we fill with our product. But our business is one that is extremely powerful. And sometimes I feel like it's maybe the best kept secret in a sense, because I don't think the population really realizes the power of what this can be if it's embraced and embodied and really offered to others as you pay it forward, and helping people relieve the stress, the financial stress of life, and take control not only of their health, but of their find very interesting right now is the evolution of how people earn income and how we're changing as a society, our culture is changing as far as how people view the way they want to live, the way they want to work, and the way they want to create for themselves. You know, we wonder sometimes why it is that so many can invest so much time in attempting to do all the right things
Cheryl,
without
you're cutting out a little bit.
we achieve happiness. Am I?
Yeah.
I must have, I keep getting a little note that
Do
says
you?
my internet is unstable. I don't know what to do
Okay.
about that.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
that's okay. Go ahead. I'll let you know. I'll just keep talking.
Okay, okay. How happy financial stability? Well, interestingly enough, if you look at the history of our economic stability, certainly as Americans, is that the primary way that people earned a living, at least for the last 60, 70 years, was through, you know, what was referred to as the 9-to-5 job. You know, as you grew up, you most likely the questions were, what are you going to be when you grow up? If you want to be a nurse, a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, you know, a merchant, you know, what are the choices? And the choices were many for many years. The 9-to-5 job was what people aspired to. But if you go look at 2019, as we go into 2020, that 9-to-5 job doesn't hold that place or that reverent place that it did at one time. As a matter of fact, that is beginning to disappear. And as that disappears, there's a shift in the culture as to how people look at how they're going to create income. Today, we see this culture shift in all aspects of how people create their living. Doctors and lawyers now want to be entrepreneurs. They want to have flexibility in their work. They do things from, you know, you might see concierge doctors or lawyers that have things that they do that stretch into the entrepreneurial environment. We also see privatizing of education, where people want to take advantage of entrepreneurial opportunity while addressing the fact that public schools across the country are really suffering and that there is a need to meet the specific needs of children that are not necessarily met in the traditional school setting. And if you look at every aspect of work, today we see that, you know, it's shifting in just various similar ways where they meet the needs of people, but do it with entrepreneurial endeavor. And we see that there are people who are looking for things that they don't necessarily find in 9-to-5, personal fulfillment, ways to express themselves and control their hours in a whole different way. And so we see something that is on the horizon and well established, not just on the horizon, as to what we call the gig economy. Gigonomics, it's referred to. And what that is, and it comes from the term, from musicians' term really, that musicians never really work for anyone in particular. They went from one gig to the next. And so referring to as gig being an entrepreneurial standpoint. And so we see direct selling businesses fit this description very, very well. With a company that is in direct sales, you can virtually meet all the needs. Now, if you're looking for a gig to supplement your income, to give you freedom as far as how you interact in the work world, direct selling companies offer a huge, you know, just array of choices. And so we find ourselves in a situation where we as a company with not only many years of experience, but great products, an amazing marketing plan that pays extremely well, we find ourselves in a position where we are very, very, I guess you would say, not only in high demand, but we're a hot ticket right now as far as people are concerned. And if you can really begin to incorporate that thinking, then as you go out in the world and share this with people, you'll realize what a gift you have to offer. I know I heard Josh mention this on our call, and maybe you've heard me say it before because I was shocked when I read this statistic. If we look at just 1970, which to me feels like yesterday, okay, but 1970, the hourly wage was $2.50. Today, just what, not quite 50 years later, today you would need to create $22.85 to buy what you could buy in 1970 for $2.50. So, we are kind of living in a paradox. We say we're earning more, but in reality, we may be earning more, but we're not able to buy as much as we could in 1970 by any means. And so we are in the best of times and the most challenging. Our money needs to be larger and larger just to take care of those basic things in life. And so the beauty of what we do is that we get to offer people an entrepreneurial experience, which is very desirable today. It's also the foundation of really our nation and the way in which this country was formed. People were entrepreneurs. And I think it's about time for that to come back around. The beauty of it is no matter what your age, your walk of life, your past experience or inexperience, you can truly be the architect of your own destiny with direct selling companies. So here we are. We are a company that is not only extremely established, 50 years old here in 2020, but we have a powerful product line. We have years of consistent success. And we also have a marketing model that pays more than any other out there if you were to compare them. And that's been done for you. So you really, you don't have to go to that work, but take my word for it after all these years. So if we look at examples of gig economy, you would see what? Certainly we've all now experienced an Uber or a Lyft driver, okay? And this is a way for a person to use what they have to create that additional income to make up that difference in what they are earning and what they would like to earn. Now, that additional income could be for many reasons. It might be that extra money that's needed. It might be to secure vacation time or a private school, or maybe it's to really secure retirement, which for many people is very threatening and very frightening because of the cost of living. So you see people do these additional things like Uber or Lyft. You see many times Airbnb being something that people create additional income with. And so I came across some articles of many of these examples, but this was one that caught my eye as well. And the interesting thing about these is most of these people are graduate degrees. They have worked very hard in the professions they're in. They're accomplished, and yet they're realizing that they either want to have more in life or they need more in life. And so entrepreneurism is really a growing desire, the skill that we as a company have and we as a company teach. But this one caught my eye in 2009, and this is a woman who, again, had a graduate degree. She said, my dream job just went away, and she was managing fitness classes in a gym, and all the benefits that she had went away with it. I needed something flexible that would allow me to continue to teach fitness classes. And so she came across a direct selling company that had vegan products, which kind of went along with her thinking as far as nutrition was concerned. And she said, I decided to do it as an extra. And she said it went extremely well. She said, I love the products, and I measure my weekly checks by the amount of money I charge for fitness classes. By the end of my first year, I had covered over 163 classes. It was what her income would have equated to. And that first year, she said, for me, that's a lot of time and effort that I was able to use in other ways. So time can be a thing too that people are trying to claim. So according to what I've read here and looking into this, because I find it fascinating, is that as of this year, 42 million people in this country have some type of entrepreneurial endeavor that they do in addition to what they're already pursuing as a profession. And there are millions looking. So your market is very ripe. Now, one of the things about, and Uber, Airbnb, things of this nature, people don't work for someone else in these situations. They work for apps. And there is no security as far as, any type of benefits that go along with these things. This is where we really have an edge. We're not only a company that can really support and teach and train, but we're a company that actually becomes, you might say, a family unit. Again, I'm going to go back to Erin, who said lock arms and support and care for and really work together as a team. And I think this is very, very powerful. But one of the places we really stand out is that we have a benefit program that any CEO that worked for any company would be, thrilled to have. And so as you work up through the process, as far as our business is concerned, those benefits are really, really powerful. And it's one of the things that you really want to share with people when they show interest in our business and want to know more about it. Now, something that I really wanted to get across tonight, because I think this is so important, is people always have ideas of, how this works or how it doesn't work. You'll hear we do really well in a poor economy because people need jobs. And that's true, but we also do really well in a great economy. And there's some really good reasons for that as well. And so if you think about a good economy, in times that are good, people feel safe and secure. And they're willing to take that chance on being an entrepreneur, that extra risk, you might say. And they might be thinking, not only do I want to learn and have something extra, but I want to move my situation forward. And that situation could be that they want extra things, or maybe they want to bring one spouse home from a job. Maybe the mom wants to be the one to stay at home with her children. There's so many variations of why people would be attracted to what we have. But please know that in really good times, we do extremely well. People have more discretionary income, and they can also, the products, they can buy products without concern or worry, but really the fact that they feel secure to be able to step into something and really learn those entrepreneurial skills to give them the additional that they want or desire, need. And I have found this in my career. There are only two types of people: people who need money and people who want more. Those are the only two kinds of people that are out there, okay? And so we fit the bill in either way. But I think it's really important as far as mindset is concerned. Your whole business will reflect the way you think. If you think you can, you will, and you can. If you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you won't. And that sounds so simple, but it's so very true and very powerful. It's going to be the way you think about how the market's going to respond. So I'm going to encourage you to know that you are in the very best market you could ever be in today. That people want what we have. They need what we have. They desire to have the skills that we know how to teach. Their entrepreneurism is not taught in traditional education. And yet we're very, very good at teaching it. And so we can empower people, not only from a product standpoint, but from a business standpoint. And I'm going to use these last 3 or 4 minutes to share with you just some things that we, as a national marketing director team, this would have been from our Q school and from one of our NMD schools, but it's just some things I put together on the power of positive thinking and mindset and creative visualization. And basically, and a lot of this comes from Jim Rohn, some of it comes from Norman Vincent Peale, from Napoleon Hill. All of these were great business philosophers. But these are things that have been realized by people who've done extremely well in all types of businesses over the last really 150 years. You can precondition your mind to success. You can actually forecast what your future failure or success will be by your present type of thinking. So you want to really examine that thought process that's going on. You know who you have the most conversation with in your life? Yourself. Okay? It's you. You are the only thinker in your world. And so the conversation is with yourself. Talk about be the master of your fate. We're the captains of our souls because we have the power to control our thoughts. So there's a deep tendency in human nature to become precisely like that we habitually imagine ourselves to be. Imagination is the art or science of projecting an image within your own mind. You might call it imaging, and the sort of image of yourself you hold is very important, for that image will become a fact. So if I could take a little microchip and just plug it in your brain right now, okay, just give you a little microchip shot, it would be that you imagine yourself to be the most generous, loving, successful entrepreneur that totally takes this over and absolutely lights the world with it. That you have everything you could ever possibly need to be as powerful and successful with this as is humanly possible. Positive thinking requires training and perseverance. It's not an easy discipline. You know why? Because all we hear all day long is negative stuff. You turn on the news, you pick up a newspaper, you pass by a newsstand and read the cover of a magazine, and it's all negative. So you have to be the guardian at the gate of the door of your mind to protect your mind and your spirit so that this does not take you over. So it's not an easy discipline, but if achieved, it pays very well. Our thinking habits have to be trained by a deliberate learning process to react the way we want them to react. Our mind has to be trained to think positively. And so again, that is a discipline that requires work. How do successful, positive thinkers keep their lives poised, relaxed, and prosperous? They study their successes. So often, we try to concentrate on what's the weakness or what's the difficulty we want to get past. Really concentrate on successful experiences. If you lead into and lean into your successes, your strengths, I might say, then the weaknesses will catch up. They'll go away. Lean into the strengths. Successful people are usually part of a strong, like-minded team, realizing they can't do everything alone. Team is very, very powerful and important because everybody brings not only the positive energy, but the knowledge they have and the experience they have. They know the real source of strength is really through spiritual values consistently employed. The bigger and more prosperous people are, the more humble they become. By replacing them with positive. And as we close, I recommend to you, the first would be The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And Joseph Murphy is one of my favorite authors. And this is how I stay positive. I read this book over and over and over and over and over. Okay. And he's written about 4 or 5 others. And it really does teach you how to, you know, even if you have just 3 or 4 really positive thoughts that feel good to you, divine guidance is taking care of this, whatever, you know, that whenever you get a negative thought, you say, no, you plug it in with a positive. Because we all have challenges in our lives. It is just the way human experience is. And so The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy is a great one. And the other thing that I've found that's brought me more happiness than anything else, and I think is really the way to stay positive and happy in your business, is gratitude. And I love Louise Hay with the gratitude book. This one's just a lot of little shorts on people, talking about gratitude and what it did in their lives. It's a wonderful read. You can pick it up and open it anywhere and read 4 pages and feel really good. But gratitude really puts you in a position to stay positive, and positive is what is the most powerful, I guess you can say, component of your business. So summing up tonight, we're in the right place at the right time. The economy is ours for the taking as far as what people want and need. And with the right mindset of a positive attitude and not letting negativity enter, you just all have to be national marketing directors, because I have a reputation to live up to, and you have to. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Let's go get them here this month and show everybody in the company what a end of year looks like. I mean, let's make this the best month we've ever had. Okay.
Let's do it.
My pleasure.
All right. Good night, everybody. I'll get the recordings out to y'all. Okay.
Good night, folks.
All right.
All right,
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, Cheryl. Great job.
Good night.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.